When it comes to developing speed, I generally split my sessions up into one and two things. We're either looking at max velocity or top speed, that's usually our earliest session in the week, and our other one, either Friday or Sunday, we're looking at acceleration or change of direction or some combination of the two. I'll usually tailor my warm-up specifically to what's coming next. It tends to prepare the player as well for either the hurling or football that's to come, but gives a little bit of specific preparation and helps develop some of the key shapes or movements we want the players getting into for, whether it be their top speed or acceleration. We're going to look at some acceleration or change of direction stuff here now. And again, this is going to be broken up into what I've spoken about before in terms of shapes, elasticity, intent, using those three sections or categories to develop what it is for what's coming later on. We're going to start off with just some typical side-to-side movement. If we're looking at change of direction or acceleration, we just want to get our general heart rate up, but try and do some actual side-to-side movements in it. You can obviously mix in your sport-specific skills here, whether it be pucking the ball around, kicking the ball around, hand passing, some mini possession games, whatever it may be. We're also looking to go through the various ranges of motion in our joints, like what we're doing here in our side step, but with the little knee circle. We come on then for a little bit more activation-y specific stuff. For doing our squat, we're looking at that with a little bit of a wider stance, but also get that knee circle in there so we're opening out our hips a little bit. We will want a lot of knee flexion, a lot of hip flexion to get into the right positions for acceleration. Hence why we're doing this stuff. We're looking to get a little bit lower, deeper, a bit more of a forward lean and an awful lot of this, and a little bit more change direction specific stuff with our 45-degree shuffles, both going backwards and forwards, because we want to change direction as attackers but also as defenders. We start looking at developing our bit of elasticity, and there's a few different bits we can do here. We start off with more like much lower level stuff, doing our lateral bounds here, which are really quite controlled. You can see me progressing on in these videos here where I'm starting to spring onto the leg, then come off it again. Because realistically, we don't really change direction from a standing position that much. It's usually we come in, we plant and come off it. That's why I'm trying to develop that in a little bit. I stand on my right leg, I spring across to my left in very low level manner, but then try and have a bit of intensity coming off that. And that's just to get used to keeping that. Realistically, I need a bit more hip and knee flexion there. Just struggling with a bit knee tendonitis when I was filming these. We then into our pogos, like we would do in a lot of our top speed stuff, but we're looking to put a little bit more sideways or lateral movement to it. So instead of that constant forward or backwards movement, we're looking to put some side to side on it. And again, do this in both directions. This will serve both to develop the elasticity through the ankles, through the feet, through the knees, but also it's just a good general raiser of heart rate and body temperature as you're going through these bits. Like I've said before on pogos, you want a little bit of knee bend, largely coming through the ankle, and then we start bringing in some 45-degree pogos. This is start bringing in some change of direction. You're going a little bit left. After a few movements left, you're springing back and coming the opposite direction to bring in some right side movement to it, because we need to vary going off both sides. I really like this one here, so it's starting to put together the pieces of you're doing something lateral, so springing off one side, a couple of hops, just getting used to receiving that force, and then coming back to the other side again. You can go 2, 3, 4 or 5 hops each time. And then just to bring in a little bit of a side step and acceleration, this is coming into that more like potentiate phase of the session. Something I think is massively underrated in what we do in a lot of our warm-ups and development of power is some deep tier plyos, particularly when it comes to absorbing force like we will do when we're accelerating or decelerating, and we just mix some of those sinky bits and alternate between high jumps and long jumps. Some position specific work then with a bit of intent. So just if you have a wall, a railing, goal post, whatever you have access to here, just mix some wall drives in. Look for that forward lean of both the upper body, but also the shins there. Ideally, my shins should be parallel to my upper body. You're getting used to keeping the knee up, but driving the legs down with a bit of force. Some single and double leg work here. This works really well if you have a partner to hold you. A little bit harder with a band than when I'm on my own, but if someone's just holding you and it's 3, 2, 1 and let go, as long as you're driving into it. Another one I really like for acceleration here is you just step back, plant a foot and then spring forward or drive forward off it. After that, you're just going to be dipping into a few different acceleration or change direction specific drills. A couple of races. You can vary these from lying on the belly, lying on the back and rolling over, kneeling, standing, 2-point start, 3-point start, 4-point start. Mix these up, and you can vary them from 5 meters all the way up to 20 meters, and even have staggered finishing points for players. A blue cone is 5 meters away, a red cone is 10 meters away, and you're calling it. Also, for change of direction stuff there, to start layering that in, you can mix in, they're going out as fast as they can, but ask them to make a sudden stop, but you call it. Whether it be a visual, you hold up a cone, or an audio where you blow a whistle or make a call for a specific colour cone, and after that you can get them to hit that cone to go out to and come back. Just various different ways of varying what it is you're doing, but very much with an acceleration and or a change of direction focus.